everyone, it's Sharon here. I'm back with another card for CraftStash, and today I've got some dies from the Apple Blossom Floral Frames collection. I've got the Apple Blossom Dahlia die set and the Dahlia Floral Wrap die set. This is the Floral Wrap die set. You get this background and then a really intricate, beautiful die to go on top of it. And then this is the Dahlia die set. We're going to use the Dahlia die set today. I've cut a card blank to measure 15 centimetres squared, and then I've cut a piece of craft card that's 14 centimetres squared because this die is 13 centimetres squared. So they're all going to layer up really perfectly. So I'm going to run this through my die cut machine. Now I've run this through once and I'm going to show you. I'll just take the outside piece off. And it hasn't cut all the way through on one going through, so I'm just rotating it and then I'm going to run it through again. And as you can see, that's got all of it cut properly. With these larger dies, you very rarely will get it through in one pass. And the best thing is to rotate it and then run it through again, just so that you get all the areas. The way that a die cut machine, all the pressure is in one place at a time. So if you rotate it, you'll make sure you get everything. And as you can see, that's die cut so well, the pieces are just falling straight out. So I'm just going to whiz through and poke out all the pieces. This is a bit fiddly. I must get one of those roller things that gets them all out in one go. So I've popped those out and I'm ready to start putting it all together. So I'll just add some double-sided tape to the back of this craft card. So I'll just run this tape around all the edges. If you prefer, you could use a liquid glue for this. Personally, I like using double-sided tape if I'm matting and layering, but it's personal preference really, either's fine. So I'll just grab the backing strips off and then I can pop this on my card front. As the card front is 15 centimetres and this is 14 centimetres squared, it leaves just a nice white border around the edge, and then I can attach my frame. I'm using multimedia matte for this from Ranger. I probably mention this in every video and you're probably really bored of hearing it, but just in case you haven't seen my other videos, the reason I use this is because it dries matte. So if any of this seeps out underneath, which it's bound to really on an intricate die, you won't see it. It's going to dry with a matte finish, so there'll be no shiny bits. So I can just pop that on my card front. And since there's so much of it and so many little areas, I'm just going to pop an acrylic block on it for a couple of seconds just to make sure it's all pressed down onto the card. And then I'm going to choose a sentiment. This stamp set is the Apple Blossom Daisy Chain Sentiment set. There is a stamp set that goes with this collection, but I don't have it. So I've decided to use this Daisy Chain set. I've just seen a bit of die cut that hadn't popped out there, so I just quickly got that out. And then I'm just using a powder tool just to make sure there are no fingerprints on this before I stamp. So I'm using a versamark ink and I'm going to stamp this sentiment right in the centre. I've picked this particular sentiment because it's got a flower in it, and although it's a daisy because it's from the Daisy Chain set, I thought it would tie quite nicely with this border. And I'm going to use some white embossing powder. This is Wow embossing powder. This is my favourite for doing sentiments. This is a super fine powder, which is great for sentiments. And I'm just going to heat that. I'm holding my heat gun, it's on, but I'm just holding it away till it's nice and hot. If you do that, then it means your card will buckle less. If you take your gun straight to your card and wait for it to heat up, it's more time that the heat's on the card and it's more likely to sort of buckle a bit. And I just rub off that powder. And now I'm ready to start the colouring. I've got some coloured pencils. You can use any sort of pencil for this, but pencils tend to show quite nicely on craft card, whereas if you use marker pens, alcohol markers, they don't show that great on craft card, and if they do, you've really got to use bright colours for them to show up, whereas pencils do tend to work quite well. One tip though, since this is quite intricate, is you really need to keep your pencil sharpened. I ended up sharpening mine about 5 times as I went round here, because you need a sharp point to get into all the little areas. So I'm keeping it simple. I'm doing the flowers in this dark pink, and then I'm doing the leaves in green, and I'm just going to work my way all the way around like so. As you can see, the colour really pops against the white. Sorry about my head getting in the way there. So I'll just work my way with the green. I will speed forward through this because obviously it did take me, it probably took me about 10 minutes to go all the way around, I'd say. So I'll speed through till the end. And I've just got just on the last one now. And as you can see, that pink really shows up nicely with the craft and the white. I think it's one of my favourite colour combinations actually. So I'm just doing the last flower, and then I'm using the pink to just fill in the little petals on that flower stamp. Again, you need to make sure your pencil's nice and sharp because the petals on this stamp flower are quite small. And that just ties it all together. You could leave it there, but I'm just going to add some final little details. I thought I'll add some pearls and some of the tonic Nouveau crystals to the petals, to the flower centre, sorry, not the petals. So I'm doing a dot of multi-matte medium to add the pearls, and then I can see my Nouveau crystals are a bit gunked up, so I'm just using a pin. Actually, I'm very brave going straight in onto my card with that. I should really have done it on a scrap of card to make sure I didn't get the whole lot exploding out. And I'm just going to do alternate with the petals and the Nouveau crystals. And then I'll do some dots with the multi-matte medium. So that's all the Nouveau crystals. When you add those, as you saw there, it's a good idea to just flick underneath. And that kind of helps the Nouveau crystals to go into a nice round shape. I'm using a pickup tool just to add my pearls, so I've just got a couple more to add. And then that will be my card finished. I think these die sets are absolutely beautiful, and there are so many things you could do with these. I've used this, you know, pretty much as it is. But you could cut out pieces of it to add them individually. You could make a nice border with it, all sorts of things. I'll list all the products I've used in the description box on YouTube, and you can also pop across to the CraftStash website, and that's where you'll find the products, and that's www.craftstash.co.uk. Thanks for watching. Bye.